If that room had a bio or something, so I'm gonna slide through a comfortable seat right here. Just take a seat.
I don't like the looks of this room.
Huh?
I said, I don't like the looks of this room.
You don't like the looks of this room, why not?
Because it's cold and clammy and...
Cold and clammy. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I'm glad you came down, because last night, I really wasn't up to snuff, you know, when you were talking to the other detectives about, you know, your theories and things. You mind, you know, going over that again for me, how you feel and what you think about that?
Yeah, I prefer if you guys would like take this or take notes or something.
Okay, luckily.
Yeah, I figured, okay. Well,
These rooms are
okay,
taped.
all
Okay,
right.
so let's just go with, just, you know, just go with.
Okay. Where do you want me to start? Ask me a question.
Well, no, just start from the beginning. You tell me you had come up with some theories that you thought, what, was your ex-girlfriend or something like that? May have been involved with that?
That's correct.
So what's up with that?
What's up with that is, we lived together for the past 3 years.
Okay.
We had many fights. The police were over at our house on 3, maybe 4 separate occasions. They made an arrest on the last occasion. It was her that was arrested. Throughout the 3 years that we've been together, I've personally witnessed numerous instances of violent behavior.
Okay.
She is hysterical when she's mad. She will stop at nothing to get her way. And she has made, I don't know how many suicide attempts. It's been 3 years of hell. I've been very uncomfortable living with her, and I have feared for my child's safety at different points. While she has never directly threatened her, she's been there with me, and in the knife instance, I was holding her while she's waving this knife around.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she sounds like she kind of cuckoo.
I think she is.
Yeah. Okay.
The night of Christina's death, we had a fight at Avanti's,
Oh.
and it wasn't any more serious or less serious than any other fight, and I never made a connection that she might somehow be responsible for her death. It never crossed my mind until I kept thinking later on in the afternoon about the fan. The fan. Why was almost the fan on the floor? Well, the paramedics must have kicked the cord and then took it out of the window and put it down. For what other reason would the fan be on the floor? And I thought, unless somebody were to crawl through that window. Well, nobody can crawl through the window because there's a screen there and there latches. Unless someone were to poke their thumbs through or fingers or clip them or whatever, and then lift the screen to ensure they permanent. That is just the train of thought that I used.
Yeah.
I was over at Tita's house at the time and said, Tita, I'll be back in an hour. I'm gonna go check something. Pulled in, walked down the side of the house, there's the 2 holes. Ran in the house, called 911 probably 4 times, waiting. And let me tell you something, that's all I've been doing here is waiting. Every time I come here, you guys wait. I got 3 or 4 different guys, pardon me, taking half-ass statements and then running off. Where's the other 2 or 3 guys? Police and chief is out of town. Second in command's out of town, I just learned. It's some third-rate half-ass. This is a capital N murder that's going to make your case. My only daughter is laying on a cold-ass slab of concrete right now. And you guys are sitting on the asses down to your fucking forensics team down there now. I mean, like 5 or 6 guys. This is bullshit. I'll bet you guys haven't sent anybody over there to take fiber samples off the screen. I'm sorry. I am mad as hell. Have you searched your car? Have you got a search warrant for her place?
That's
Have you gone through her garbage? The garbage is in the goddamn dump now. You're never going to find any of it.
Relax. That's why I'm talking to you now, and that's why we're trying to get this, so we can get this on.
This is bullshit. And I know something else. I am a suspect. I am probably, maybe even the #1 chief suspect, because I was in that apartment the time that she was murdered, and I realize that, and I don't care. I would rather you arrest me than arrest nobody at all, because somebody is walking around who broke into my apartment that night and murdered my daughter.
Okay.
And somebody has major motive.
What do you think, what's her name?
Misook.
What do you think her motive would have been?
And don't you read the notes? They're probably trying to cross-check it or whatever.
I haven't seen their notes. That's, you see, that's, you know.
Okay, well, you need to get all these guys in here and like compare notes or something.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking,
You guys review this all together.
okay. Then that's where I'm talking to you now, so we can get it all, and then we can review it all together. So let's show.
How old are your daughters?
My daughters, I got 2 daughters, they're 15 and 17, they're a little older. They're a little older than your daughter.
Well, just because I knew that I was coming down. That incidentally is Misook.
Oh, can we pull it up? Can we
Yeah,
keep that?
I'm sure. It's one of those glamour pics. I'll give you all of my photographs.
Okay, who is this?
This is her daughter, and that is my daughter, Christina.
This is Christine. What's her daughter's name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Michelle live with Miss Snook?
No, she does not. She lives with her father, but
Okay.
her father was working 3rd shift, so she would stay with us often.
Okay.
That is Christina. That is Christina. Misook again.
Okay.
This is an older picture.
Actually, you know what? We don't need all your pictures.
Well, I want to show you anyway.
Okay, you can show me, but I'm saying you can keep them, because I'm sure you want to see some of your pictures.
Darn right I do.
Yes, you
That is
do.
Michelle, too.
That's Michelle.
That's Christina, and she's less than a year old. I got these from Tina today. She's a little over a year old. She's my baby, and I'm never gonna see her again. She's my only child. She's probably the only child I ever had in my whole life. Tina now is 45. She'll never have another child. Somebody stole the life of Christina. During that thunderstorm, the last thing Christina saw was probably a flash of lightning right before somebody put a pillow or her Barney doll over her head. And I pray that she was asleep when that happened. I don't. And you need to tell me the result of the autopsy, even though I already know what they are. Death by asphyxiation.
That's what you think?
Well, what's the hold up, man? You guys said you're going to get on the ball. We need to know what the cause of death is.
I'm not a doctor, man, so
Randy told me yesterday he's going to bump it up. They told me yesterday.
We tried to bump it up. We couldn't contact anybody last night. They did that stuff this morning. We should be getting that information back this afternoon sometime. We can find out exactly.
Well, you mark my words that that's what it is. And if by golly, if I was the one that did that, I wouldn't be telling you that it was death by asphyxiation. The only reason I know that is because, or would say that, is because I know I didn't do it.
You know, I don't even understand that word. What do you mean by asphyxiation? You know,
She was smothered with a goddamn pillow or something. I mean, there's no signs of trauma of any way, shape, or form.
okay.
I don't know, is there a poison that works that fast? I suppose it's possible. I don't think Misook is smart enough to do that. She's the only one with a motive.
Yeah, what was her motive? What do you think her motive is?
Her motive is her maniacal desire to have me at any costs. And she has told me this many times. I will kill myself if I cannot have you. I gave Randy a list of 3 or 4 different people who you detectives should be talking to right now who would confirm that they have heard her say this on numerous occasions. Well, certainly if she would kill herself, she would kill somebody else.
Wow. Yeah,
She's done a suicide attempt.
how'd you meet her?
She worked at Red Lobster about 2 years ago. She did a suicide attempt, 2 of them, that I witnessed. I mean, they were kind of, one of them was kind of half-assed, one of them was a little bit more serious. Neither one of them required hospitalization. Prior to me meeting her, her ex-husband, Andy, could fill you in on some more. I mean, you guys ought to be interviewing Andy, you got to be interviewing U-Man Aldridge, you ought to be interviewing her best friend, Susie.
Where do all these people live? You know where they live?
U-Man Aldridge, I know, is in the phone book. I've been to her house, I cannot think of the name of the street.
What's Miss Snook's nationality?
She's Korean.
She is Korean?
Yes.
And what was your wife's nationality?
Philippine.
She's Philippine? Okay. But what makes you think this asphyxiation thing? Why are you so sure about that?
Because I've lived with her for 3 years. She is obsessed with me. I've seen her driving through my work. She calls me every single day, usually twice a day,
Occasionally, she will skip a day. She'll look for any excuse to call me or come over. A couple weeks ago, I almost had to call the cops just to get her out of my apartment. She came over after having called me 5 times that day, 3 times by cell phone, and when I first moved out, I said, look, you're not going to be coming over here all the time. You're not going to be calling. If you want to do lunch or whatever, that's fine. Called me 5 times, 3 times on the cell phone. That shit's expensive. I said, you ain't going to be doing that. Comes, shows up at my door, stays for about 2 hours. I'm like, get the hell out of my house. I don't want you. I hate you. Leave, please. And she absolutely would not leave. I'm telling her to her face, get out of my life.
How long
Please leave.
How long did you and she date?
We've lived together for approximately 2.5 or 3 years. I don't know. And I've moved out on 2 other occasions prior to this and got a place. It's right behind, excuse me, Bob Evans. A couple of rows. You might be able to check the records if you want. And that only lasted 2 months, my moving out, because she was always forcing herself on me. Honey, I can change for you. Honey, I'll do anything. I promise, blah, 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 blah. She's even gone to counseling. I give Randy the names of the different counselors. If they don't have a confidentiality clause or whatever, they'll give you a whole lot of lowdown on her personality. Investigate her personality and tell me if I am off base by thinking she is responsible.
How did she get along with your ex-wife?
I forced the 2 of them to tolerate each other because of Christina. But they do not like each other. Misook has always been incredibly jealous of Tita, not only because of Christina. I mean, I'm not a psychologist or anything.
But you seem pretty bright,
But my love for Christina and the fact that she was with me all the time, 4 or 5 nights a week, always drew my love away from Misook in her mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's true, there's no doubt about it. And most of the times, she and I don't get along well anyway, and
You and
yes, we're more short-spoken with each other. And I can be like, don't bother me with that shit, because I don't want to hear that bull crap again for the 3rd time this week for 3.5 hours. And then I'll turn to Christina and it's like, Chris, would you like some milk or something? For example, that infuriates her, and she will fly off the handle on something similar to that, as she is on many occasions. So she's jealous, not only of Tita, but she's jealous of Christina. Christina has always been in the way for her to get my total love. She has always been an obstacle. That obstacle is now removed by her.
Has she ever?
It's either me, it's Misook, or some random dude off the street.
Why do you say that?
Because that's the only suspects that you have.
Could be some random dude off the street.
It ain't gonna happen. I mean, that shit happens in New York and Los Angeles, and it happens once a year, and it makes headlines, you never hear about it again. That somebody broke in to my apartment to get at Christina. And that in itself, I realize, is a lot to swallow while I'm sleeping in the other room. I mean, it's obviously not a burglary. I could have, I admit, gone in there, and I have no alibi. I mean, I'm right in there with her.
Yeah.
She had my undying love, and I will love her to the day I die. I have no motive. I suppose I could have had a weapon, a pillow, or whatever, which you guys apparently haven't determined what it is yet.
No, we haven't really. We don't know
What else is involved? Motive, weapon, what are the other?
Opportunity?
Well, yeah, I've got the opportunity. She's living with me.
Yeah. Has Ms. Snook ever threatened your daughter? Have she even did anything violent to your daughter in your presence? Or has your daughter even... Did your daughter speak pretty well?
Yeah, but not well enough to... No, I mean, not well enough for something like that.
She was 3, right? Was she a young 3 or an old 3?
I would say average intelligence, old looking. She's in the 90th percentile for her height.
Okay.
Very tall.
I see you had the potty in the bathroom, so you guys were potty trained?
Yes, she was potty trained.
How well was she doing?
She was doing very well, as a matter of fact.
It took her a long time to potty train, and she didn't become potty trained until about last January, which was about on her 3rd birthday. Since then, she's peed the bed 4 times maybe. The last time of which was my bed, and it was a month ago probably.
Yeah, but you said she didn't talk, she was just kind of starting to form words and stuff? You said?
She was doing sentences, but they
Why don't you
were...
give me an example? I'm trying to figure it out.
Look, Daddy, stars and the moon. Daddy, look, the face. The face is looking at you. The face on the fence post on the corner of East Front and Clinton. Do you know what I'm talking about? There is a fenced-in yard with high...
Oh, yeah,
And
right down the street from the restaurant there.
There's a little abstract face painted all by itself, sitting right on the corner. But this artist must live there or something. But every time she goes by, look, Daddy, the face. The face is looking at you. I think her language development, though, was more advanced than what she led me or others to believe. The reason I say that is because sometimes I would hear her in the other room reading or whatever, and her sentence structure would be much more complex. Similarly, she would sing along to favorite Disney movies, Anastasia, and so forth. But boy, if you were to turn around and look at her, she'd stop singing.
Oh, so she was kind of shy.
Yes.
How did you say she went to daycare, right? Was she a pretty good student over there?
Shy, but yeah, I suppose so. She just graduated, actually, they just found room for her in the next highest level. They should have put her in there like 2 or 3 months ago, but they didn't have room, and I guess the spot opened up. And she hasn't even been in there, not even a week.
What type of stuff did they teach them over there, or what did they do at the daycare?
Well, I don't know, whatever we're gonna do. Storybook time, the carpet squares that they always sit on and listen to the teacher.
Did she read sometime over at the daycare?
Pardon me?
Did she read over the daycare sometime?
I presume that the girls around the place read them books and stuff, and they look at the pictures or whatever. I
Okay.
never sat in on a whole session.
So she didn't really read, she just kind of looked at the
Yeah.
footage. Oh, yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah.
No, she can't read. She can read maybe 10 words. Daddy, mommy, stop, read, play, stop and play on the VCR, McDonald's.
Mhm. Yeah, you guys went to McDonald's yesterday, right?
That's correct.
What time?
Day before yesterday.
Yeah, day before, I'm sorry. What time did y'all get there?
We got there at almost precisely seven. 6:45.
Oh, 6:45? So what time did you pick her up from Mom's house?
I left her mom's house at approximately 6:15. Misook and I went out for lunch. Misook and I went out for lunch at 6 o'clock. That was our lunch date.
Right.
We ate about a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We sat on the car and talked for 15 minutes. I lied and told Misook to get rid of her, that I had to pick up Christina by 7 o'clock. I arrived at Tita's house at 7:10 or so, stayed for maybe 15 minutes. We were at McDonald's by 7:30, back at my house by 10 till 8 or so, and she ate about 8 o'clock.
So she ate at home, she didn't eat at McDonald's?
Okay, happy meal to go.
Okay, so she ate about 8 o'clock at home.
Mhm.
Did she like that Happy Meal?
Yes, she
That's her
always liked it.
favorite?
Yes.
Did it have a toy in it?
Yes, it did. It had a little red toy lobster that was laying on the bed. When I found her the next morning, because I put that on her bed when I put her to sleep. As a matter of fact, while she is eating her Happy Meal, and I'm fishing the stuff out, and she's about halfway done, I don't want to break the toy out until she's almost done eating, or she'll forget about her food and go for the toy. And it's the little beanie babies, those red lobster. I go, look, Chris, a lobster. I put on my arm and I'm just like, I'm like, ah. And I throw it on the floor and she's just rolling, laughing. And then she wouldn't go near it the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Well, later on that night when she was ready to bed and she was more calmed down and stuff, I just kind of laid it on the bed next to her. She also had another, I believe it was a little elephant beanie baby on the bed with her also.
So what time did she go to bed though?
She, after she ate, I went to, took a nap on the couch from approximately 8:30, 8:40 maybe, until 10:30. Meanwhile, Christina's playing around. I was like, Daddy's gonna take a little nap, Chris. Okay, so you gotta be quiet. She still woke me up like 3 or 4 times.
Was she in the bedroom or was she in the living room?
No, she's in the bedroom. She made many trips to the bedroom because when I awoke and finally got up, there was her books and toys strewn all over the end of the couch where my head was laying. So she was sitting right there within a foot or two of me reading her books. As I was napping out, I could kind of hear her talking to herself, and she's got a couple of her dolls and 6 or so books that she had been thumbing through and reading, quote, unquote. It's 10:30 now. I have to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Before 8:30, certainly. It's supposed to be 8 o'clock, but I usually go in about 8:15. Tuesday's a special day. Otherwise, day shift person comes in at 8:30. But Tuesday, you have to do some extra cleaning.
And that's where that red lobster
That's
is
correct.
there, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And now, normally I let Christina stay up as late as she wants and she can fall asleep on the couch or whatever. Tomorrow, though, I gotta take her to daycare and be at work by 8:15 at the latest, which means I gotta wake Christina up no later than 7:30, so it's bedtime, Chris.
And this was at 10:30?
This is at 10:30. So first, you have to pick up all your toys. I can't remember what I did first. Pick up the toys or get the jammies. I don't know if it matters. I think she got her jammies first. I said, go get your jammies. Okay, what that means is go into my bedroom and find one of my white t-shirts that say Red Lobster across it, the one that she was found dead in. Actually, I think it had a little Red Lobster logo on it here, and then it has 3 monkeys saying something on the back, I forget what. But it's standard fare. When she is at her mom's house, she also wears one of my lobster t-shirts that I gave to her mom before they got all ripped and dungy. Since I had done laundry recently, the shirt was clean. So she brings the shirt out, she takes off her pants, she can't get her shirt off because she hasn't quite mastered the pull-over thing.
Okay.
Snap, zip, pants down, I assisted her with her shirt off. I said, okay, put your jammies on now. So, and she hasn't quite mastered the pull-on thing. Either they're upside down or inside out or backwards or whatever, usually backwards or something. So she begins to put it on, and she starts, and this is a large size t-shirt too, larger than what is even good for me. I mean, it's even large. It's large on me. And so she starts to put it on, and she starts sliding her head through the armholes. Chris, don't do that. I said, let me help you. So I put it on properly for her. I was like, okay, now you pick up other toys for Daddy. She could have got them in one trip, but she probably made 4 or 5, and we just pick up like one book at a time, run in the bedroom, put it away. The books, as you may or may not recall, are right there in the corner next to the bed in kind of a scrambled position. They're in the exact same position as have not been touched since the position that she threw those books in that night, right before I had her go to bed, when I told her to put all her toys away. Some of the other toys strewn over here by the closet, not all, but some had been ones that she had been playing with. Those also are in position, to the best of my knowledge, that she laid them in right before she went to bed. Okay, now it's time to brush her teeth. Go in to brush her teeth. She brings her little yellow chair that matches her little table that she eats on. Since I've only been there 2 months, I don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, what do you do at Red Lobster?
I'm a cook. I was an assistant manager at Westwest Village Kitchen, and I'm soon to be assistant manager at Applebee's Restaurant starting June 29th.
Here in town?
I'm training in town and going to Pekin.
When you gonna be going over to Pekin?
It's an 8-week training program, so.
Oh, so you be in town too? Oh, okay.
I'm going anywhere.
Yeah.
Christina brushes her teeth. Well, right before she brushes her teeth, I always put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, otherwise she'll got it on. She can usually turn the water on by herself, and I noticed like this brown residue on the toothbrush. I don't know what it was, and I wet the washcloth and kind of wipe it off. I suspect last time she was brushed her teeth at my house, she was playing around with the toothbrush and trying to scrub the faucet or something. I don't know. But I got the stuff off. And she brushes her teeth, 5 minutes maybe. The urine, by the way, was approximately 8 or 8:10 because it was right halfway in the middle of her heavy meal. She said, Daddy, I have to go pee-pee, so she went to go pee-pee. I was back. As a matter of fact, she ran to go pee-pee, and when she come back, since she had the snap style pants, she cannot snap them. She can unsnap them, but she cannot snap them. So she said, Daddy, you can help me. So at 10:35, 10:40 or so, okay, Chris, we need to go night-night. She usually fusses a little bit and insists on sleeping on the couch. I think she did kind of start to wander toward the couch. I'm like, no, you're going to sleep on the bed. Daddy's going to stay up and play on the computer like he always does till the wee hours, and if Daddy's up, Christina's not going to want to sleep. She's going to want to watch a movie or whatever. You know, the light's on and later too. So I take Christina into her bedroom, and she crawls up in bed. I've got the dimmer switch, and I turned it down. I thought I turned it down enough. It'd be dark enough where she wouldn't be able to see any activity. She did, just barely on. Hour and a half or so later, I'm talking about midnight or so, I make a trip to the bathroom, and as I am passing the bedroom, I can hear her talking. So I pop open the door, and there she is sitting on her bed with her book open, reading, quote unquote, to herself. Of course, she's not actually reading, but I've read that book to her several times, once within the past week. Go, dog, go. And it's very simple. Yes, that was the last book that she read, and probably the last thing that she saw before she died.
Yeah.
Midnight, 10 after. I'm thinking it's pretty close to 10 after. The reason I know these times is because I have that huge alarm clock that you may have seen in my living room. I also have the clock built in the computer, and there's also a little clock behind my computer on the answering machine that I often turn, because sometimes I find myself on there for like 3 o'clock in the morning, so it's almost a habit to make sure it's not 4 o'clock in the morning, especially when I gotta work early on Tuesday morning. Open the door, Christina, you really need to go to sleep. And she's like, okay, Daddy. And she closed her book. And
So she sleeps when the door closed?
She usually does, yes.
Does she do that at her house too?
No. There is a reason for that.
Why is that?
I smoke. She has an asthmatic condition. I cannot smoke around her.
Okay.
After she goes to bed, all the windows in the apartment are always open. I figure fair game to smoke a few. When she gets up in the morning, hopefully the smoke will have dissipated enough. And Tita has a really sensitive smell. And she gets, if Christina's been in the room while I've been smoking, she's on me like flies on shit the next day. She's like, you know, you're not supposed to be doing that. Her asthma, blah, 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 blah. I mean, she'll bitch me out when. So I have to take those precautions, if not to protect Christina from cigarette smoke, then protect my ass from Tita.
Yeah, with Tita, do you and Tita have some type of visitation schedule? Y'all just do it whenever you want to?
We do whatever we want to. I cannot remember what the court mandate was. It was like 2 days a week. Back then, I was working 2 jobs, and I don't know, it was like Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know.
Yeah,
but as time went on, even after I was still working 2 jobs, and she began to trust me more with Christina.
What do you mean by trust you more?
I mean that when we separated, there was a lot of resentment between us, and she flat out didn't want me to have Christina at all.
And, you know, and it might be my
What?
point. See, I'm just off a divorce too, so
What's more, as you may or may not know, Tita had a restraining order out against me.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I was irritable and I got violent with her one night. While I didn't actually strike her, I pulled her hair We had been having serious problems prior to that. I suspect that her and her tightly knit Philippine group coerced her into having all the paperwork already filled out in advance. I mean, before I knew it, bam, they got this thing on me, and I can't even go to my own house, which I had just bought. I mean, the whole thing infuriated me. It's a 3-unit apartment house on East Washington. I stayed for 10 years. I've only been married to her for 2, for Christ's sake. I lose, you know.
What about that?
Yeah, I don't know, about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 3.5, I don't know. It's all documented somewhere. So the next day I come back to the house. I'm like, this is bullshit. I turn off all the utilities and stuff while she's gone.
Yeah.
I knew that I was breaking the law. I didn't care. To me, I was having something stolen from me that I had worked my entire life for, that Tita had not contributed anything. I mean, she didn't work the whole 2 years that we were together. I mean, she worked for a couple of weeks for some temp service or something.
She worked at Brokaw now. What does she do?
Bowman Hospital, 3rd shift CNA.
What is that?
Certified nurse's assistant. She was a midwife back in the Philippines. She also used to work in Saudi Arabia as a midwife. She is fluent in 4 languages.
Does she work somewhere else?
No, she doesn't. That's her only job. But I got way away from the question you originally asked, which was?
Basically, I originally asked kind of what time did Christina go to bed, and you kind of answered me that. But what I was going to ask you was, you know, like I say, I don't want to be nosy, but, you know, why did you and Tia split up?
Tia and I split up because I started to have an affair with Misook. She was married also at the time.
Okay, do you and Miss Snook get along?
Do we now?
I mean, you and Tia, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, since our divorce, we have been very civil, along fine. Occasionally, we have a quarrel, as she calls it, usually over some medical bill that she's court ordered to pay half. I seem to get stuck with the whole thing every time because she doesn't have any money. And it pisses me off sometimes. I go above and beyond the call of duty for my children. For Christina, I pay $270 a month. I've slid her $200, $300, $400, $500 here and there, a couple of which times Misook has found out and like totally hit the ceiling. Okay.
Yeah.
I have always, despite being divorced from Tia, cared about her and helped her whenever she could, whenever I could. She got in an accident, so she calls me. It's a minor accident. She mowed over a stop sign. Bam, I was there. Misook is furious.
Is Tia was she a pretty good mother?
No woman can hold a candle to Tita's parenting. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She was a meticulous. I mean, she would hand wash Christina's underwear and air dry it, as would she the rest of her clothes, because she didn't want any extra lint to be on her clothes, because she felt it might contribute to her asthma or something. You open up a refrigerator door at any time right now, 80% is fruits and vegetables, the rest fish.
She was real healthy, sound like she can cook for me. Yeah.
Actually, Philippine food is not really that appetizing. They use a lot of ginger, and they kind of overload it. Plus, they eat fish heads too.
Never had a fish head, man.
Yeah.
Never had that. So, did Tia have any enemies? You know, we still kind
The
of.
only enemy Tia has ever had in her entire life, to the best of my knowledge, is Misook. And Misook, and as far as Tia go, I mean, there's been points in the past, like when we first broke up and stuff, she loathed Misook. She absolutely hated her with every, and she thought Misook was responsible for the breakup of her marriage and so forth, and to a certain degree she was. I mean, I was too. As time went on, since Misook and I were living together, I tried to smooth things over the best as possible. So, one, Christine would feel, or Tia would feel comfortable about Misook. Okay, too many names. Tia would feel comfortable about Misook being there while Christine was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Two, so that in any case where I had to work late, that Misook would be able to come over and pick up Christina, because I'm not off work yet. I've got another half an hour or an hour to go. Tita has to go to work now. I mean, there's like this hour with nobody there. It's 11 o'clock at night. To this day, Tita has never established a real babysitter thing.
Did Misook spend a lot of time with Christina by herself?
Not a lot, but there were occasions. The last of which was approximately 2 weeks ago. No, it was exactly 1 week from this past Sunday. I believe it was Sunday. It could have been Saturday, but it was Sunday. And the reason I know that is because it was a weekend day. Those are the only days that Misook has off. I was working in the afternoon. I don't know, I have to check my schedule, and I'm almost certain it was a week ago Sunday, maybe Saturday.
But you say you had Christine about 3-4 times a week?
4 or 5.
4 or 5,
She was
that's
with
all
me.
the time?
All the time. Every night that Tita would work, and she worked full-time, 11 to 7, I would be there to pick up Christina. Usually closer to 8 or so. The past, I just had this job change, so it messes the schedule up. Westminster Village, I was getting off at 7:30 or 8.
That's PM or AM?
PM.
All right.
7:30 or 8 PM. I'd be there before 9 o'clock, almost every single night. Tita was working, and pick up Christina and take her to my place. Either when I was living with Misook, or after I moved out and got my own place here more recently. Okay, now more recently I've been working at Red Lobster. It's predominantly a nighttime job, so I've been getting over there a little bit later, like last Friday night I got there. I mean, it was 10:40, she's got to be there at 11. Tita's standing outside by the car with Christina, and I didn't even knock on the door or anything. And Christina just hopped in the car, and boom, I'm gone, and boom, she's gone to work.
Yeah, and I look at Misook, am I pronouncing that
No,
right?
it's Misook. No,
Misook.
Yes, it's a very common Korean name.
Yeah, she looks like she's a pretty lady.
Of course, those are the glamour pics, but she's very attractive.
Is this her too?
Yes, it is. That's a much younger pic.
She doesn't look to be like the violent type, but.
Yeah, well, what does the violent type look? Do I look like the violent type?
No.
I mean, I know I have a history. She has a.
You have a history.
I have the history of the domestic violation of order of protection.
What was that order of protection for?
Because I was abusive to her on that one night, and that one night.
That was the only time?
No, I had been abusive to her on several other occasions prior to that, but it was, and this is no excuse, it was less abusive in this third instance or so, and it could not be more than 3. I'm talking physically abusive. I was verbally abusive prior to then. When Misook and I met, we fell in love. I mean, like you would not believe.
When was the last time you was with Misook?
Excuse me?
When was the last time you was with Misook?
I was with, well, I went to Avani's with her on Monday night. Prior to that was, I believe, I'm almost certain of this, just Sunday.
Y'all hung out and went to dinner or something?
We went to a movie when I got off work fairly early. I got off about 8:30 or 9. We were very slow. There's a Bulls game going on. No business. Met her at her place. Went to see the 11:30 show of the new Jim Carrey movie. After that, we went to Denny's. And after that, we went to her place where I spent the night.
Oh, okay. But she's never told you anything that she hates your daughter or anything, or get rid of your daughter? Did she ever say stuff like that to you?
No, she did. No, she doesn't, because she knows that more than anything would cause me to leave. She has never actually said that.
But that's the way she felt?
I am 100% positive. That is the tone that she's had with me since day one. Even her own daughter and her own relationship with her daughter is like down here while I am way up here on her scale.
Is her daughter still with her?
No, her daughter lives with her ex-husband, but she gets to see her daughter. They just recently finalized their divorce. She gets to see the daughter. Basically, she gets to see the daughter anytime she wants, but it appears to me that she never wants. And she sees the daughter like once every 2 weeks, which to me is...
So you think we should talk to Ms. Snook and we probably can find some answers?
I don't know. She is a meticulously conniving, very detail-oriented. As a matter of fact, she called me just moments before you called me in here. Called me on my cell phone and said that Detective McClintock or whatever it is had called her, and she was worried. Yeah, and she was worried. You know, why did they call me? This and that. And she's playing this thing to the T so far. She has not led me. I have not led her to believe, or anybody, incidentally. I am the only one outside of the police department, to the best of my knowledge, that has any idea about this being a murder, with the exception of me and the perpetrator of this crime, which I am convinced is Misook, and she is holding her own very well.
What do you think she'll tell us?
I don't know. I think she's going to completely deny the thing. I'm certain that she will completely deny the thing. I think there's a way to get at her, but I don't know how. Put a wire on me, send me in to her place, and I can get it out of her. I guarantee it. I've already thought it through. All I got to do is go in there and say, hey, you know, they think that Christine was murdered, and they think that I am the one who committed the murder, and they're talking about giving me a 30-year life sentence or the electric chair or something, and just start bawling. And, you know, all that may be true. I don't know. But by her hearing that, she has put me so high on the pedestal. Something like that might cause her to break. Another thing, even if you don't get her to break and admit it on wire, send me in there. I'll have a fight with her like we've had a million times. I can instigate a fight unsuspiciously. You guys witnessed the fight on the wire, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Talk to any of her friends. Within the past week, 2 weeks max. This one night she come over, I told you I couldn't get rid of her, but I'm like, get the fuck out of here, leave, whatever. The following night, and this was on a Thursday, so it must have been almost 2 weeks ago. I've thought about documenting these things many times, but just in case, you know, but she's always said and appeared to try so hard to make it work between us. I wanted it to try to make it work between us because we had such a huge investment in our relationship. Both of us, our families were ripped apart so that she and I, who were fanatically in love.
How long has she been in the country?
10 years maybe.
How long has your ex-wife been in the country?
5 maybe at the most.
5 years. Look at old Christine. That's a pretty picture of her.
Damn right it is. And she's not a pretty picture right now where she's laying. I wish with all my heart that she died of natural causes.
And you feel that's not the case?
Come on, you can't possibly feel that's the case.
I don't know yet. Marvin, I don't know.
Come on, be straight with me, man. Now, cut the crap, man. You guys know what's going on. You got some ideas. This is a bunch of crap. This is my daughter. If it was your daughter, you would want to know what is going on. You got some ideas. You're holding out. I don't know why you guys don't have friends. Even if it's me, you ought to have them. If there's me, your number one suspect, you ought to have a forensic team down there. You ought to impound my car. You ought to have her car impounded. I mean, this evidence or whatever, whoever you're after.
Do you think...
You call the neighborhood. Round up the 10 people closest to the neighborhood that have felony convictions or something.
Let me ask you
What have you done?
But what's your theory behind it? What do you think? Do you think we'll be able to find some type of physical evidence or something?
There's got to be fiber evidence on the window screen.
Okay.
If not on the screen itself, then when you lift it up, there's still that
aluminum there. So whoever crawled in there, and if it was Misook, which I'm certain it was, she had to stand on something, I don't know, a step stool, something, because the window comes up to comes up to about here on me, and she's about here. She could probably still climb. There'd probably be footprints on the outside wall, which I didn't even think to look at, and hopefully you guys did. Didn't you look and see outside the building when you?
I took a walk around that building.
Surely you saw the.
I saw a hole in the screen.
Why didn't you say something about it right then and there?
To who?
Me, anybody, detectives. I mean, right there. That's. I'm not Kojak or anybody, but if that was me, I mean, sirens would have gone off in my head so fast that.
Well, you know, like I say, I'm got to take
I couldn't believe
one at a time.
I couldn't believe that I had to go over there and see that myself and then call 911.
But okay, say we did see that and we discussed that. What would we do with
I
that?
don't know. I
then?
guess we get hot on the trail with somebody, man. There's got to be some kind of fiber evidence on the aluminum thing. Whoever crawled in, whether they used a stepladder or not, must have brushed their shirt or whatever. Misook wears nothing but expensive clothes. You can track it down probably to Kohl's, because that's where she buys most of her clothes. Or it could be some Korean outfit that her dad sent her. The jogging suits,
Okay.
and periodically she gets clothes. I mean, right there, something.
Yeah, but trust me, we're looking into all that. But they know that type of thing.
Well, I drove by there today, and there's absolutely nothing going on.
Well, because that type of thing takes.
Misook's out cruising around.
And you know, you can't do that type of thing.
Oh, you got any warrants going on, or search warrants, or anything? Have you talked to a judge?
Not yet.
A grand jury, or?
Not a grand jury. So, any other theories you might have to help us out?
Christina had absolutely no enemies in the world, period.
Okay.
Tina had one enemy in her whole life. It was Misook.
Misook and Tina just didn't get along. Did
No.
they ever fight?
They have had their exchanges over the phone. I think they might have had an exchange in person on one or two occasions. Tina does not want to have anything to do with her at all, period. Now, for the sake of Christina and convenience, occasionally she would allow, and I'm talking once a month max, for Misook to come get Christina. Or if I had to work early in the morning, I mean, we got like 4 schedules we're trying to manipulate here. We got Tina's schedule, we got my work schedule, we got Misook's schedule, and we have Andy, Misook's ex-husband, who Michelle was staying with us.
Is he in town, Andy?
He lives in Hayward.
Oh, Hayward. Okay.
I mean, he'll give you the whole lowdown. I talked to him put him in here for an hour,
How old
and
is
if he,
Misook?
Misook is 33, I don't know. I'm terrible about ages and dates, and they all string me up to thinking how bad I was.
Yeah, you can put the rest of your pictures in your wallet. We'll keep these two.
Okay.
I'll keep these two.
That's fine.
Yeah. Huh, so you spent a lot of time with Christina, huh? Y'all did a lot together?
We were together from 8 o'clock in the evening until minimum 8 o'clock in the morning, 5 nights a week, or sometimes 5. If I did not have to work early in the morning, or if Tina did not schedule daycare, and she wouldn't schedule daycare if she didn't have to because it's very expensive, Christina would remain with me throughout the whole day until 4 or 5, when I would return Christina home to her mother, because her mother sleeps during the day since she's working on the 3rd shift. Christina was with me constantly. She's a part of me, and she will always be a part of me. Now she's laying on this slab, and you guys ain't doing a damn thing about it. I want to see the police chief. He's freaking out of town. The assistant police chief is freaking out. Capital One murder case going on here. This thing's going to make your career, to quote a TV cop show. Okay? It's going to make or break your career.
Okay.
And you guys are sitting on your butts. And the police chief of police ought to be down there supervising the forensics team right now, or taking my fingerprints or something. Arrest somebody for doing this.
You got some suggestions other than Misook?
There are no other suggestions. It's Misook or a random person, unless you think it's me. And if you think it's me, that's fine with me. I'll do whatever I have to do to prove my innocence. I don't think I should have to, I don't think you'll find a character witness or anything, or any motive, or anything whatsoever, talking to 100 people, where you could find any reason, motive, inclination, anything to harm my daughter in 8,000,000 years. Even all of Tita's closest friends, who don't like me at all, acknowledge my parental responsibilities and how I've taken them. Tita is proud of me as being a former father. I am proud of myself. My parents are proud of me. No other man I know that is divorced sees their kids as much as I was with my daughter. Christina had more love from her father than most married people that I know. I don't even know the married guys that I know that have kids don't spend as much time with their kids as I spent with Christina. That is my defense.
I gotta use the bathroom. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Why don't you put those in the
You
water?
want to take all day like you guys always do, or I'm going to fire up a cigarette right here.
No, don't do that. I'll be right back.
Hey, can I go have one and then come back, or?
Yeah, sure. So put your stuff in the water. You can have a cigarette.
Yeah, but still, don't take all day.
I ain't gonna
Come
take
back
all
up
day.
here and I'm waiting like 20 minutes and
Trust me.
pacing and...
Hey, Bart, I ain't gonna leave you hanging on.
Okay.
We all good.
Thank you.
Hey, before you know, you gotta go out the building, because I'm just on the floor of the building. All right? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. 10 minutes. Okay.